About photography and movie making, the camera is not as important as the production around it. You see, you can research a movie you like and see what camera was used and then say, I need that. You can find a great photo and a photographer and what camera they used on that and say, I need that. But you really don't. When making a movie, you need a great team of specialists and gear like lights, modifiers, sound, post-production, etc. In photography, you need, depending on what you do, a great experience and good workflow that is achieved through just working, taking photos, etc. When you see a great movie or a great photograph and you just don't know about the gear, does it make it any less great? What do you see in the image? Do you see the sensor, the color science? No. What you see is the story, the emotion, the light, a point of view, subjects, composition, etc. A camera, in the greater context, does not matter that much. Have you seen the Apple presentation about iPhone movie making? Have you seen the multi-million production team and gear around it? That's the point. The camera does not matter. I mean, it does, and I will tell you where, but for general image acquisition it does not. Not really. Everything made in the last 10 years is good enough. In photography, that extends even more. I have this saying, the camera is a canvas and a paint, and the lens is the brush. Today it is a bit more complex because a quiet image is just a start. It is just the beginning for most people. A great majority in photography and all in movie making. What remains is the post-production. Whether it's the editing, grading in tools like Flame, DaVinci Resolve or Lightroom. Whether it is fairly clean editing or heavy one with added fakery in it. The image you take gets distorted, changed after. It goes to its final version behind the computer screen. And at this point it might be nothing you saw on a preview monitor or viewfinder. Image acquisition is a journey of choices. You can say, but Ari or Leica have this unique color and look and so on. And I say it does not matter anymore. Not today. Not with all the software and post-production artists we have today. Not to mention copyright infringement tool called falsely the AI. It does not matter. What matters is the presentation, the final product, and nobody really asks what happens after the shoot. The camera is just a tool. When it looks bad, it's your fault. The user, not the tool's fault. I am sorry, but that's the truth. Now, a question. Are you a DaVinci user? Are you a Lightroom user? Do you drive a Tesla? Do you ride a bike? If yes, what kind? Do you use iPhone or some Android phone? Do you drink Coke or Pepsi? Which one and why? They are all doing the same thing pretty much. So why that exact choice? Cars drive, drinks give impression of hydration, software edit the image, phones take calls and assist you with your everyday life. Is it perhaps you like your choice more, but why do you like it more? Excluding for how people see you, when you use that thing, why do you use it? Because it's better? But is it, though? Isn't it just different? Perhaps it feels better to use it. But why? I went through a significant amount of camera brands. Canon, Olympus, Nikon, Sony, Leica, etc. What I learned was, there is no such thing as the perfect camera. They are all flawed to some degree. It is like with all things in life. When not coerced to it, we will choose things that either are accepted in a production environment if it's a professional job, or are the tools we just like, prefer to use in your personal projects. Why? The professional jobs are pretty obvious, right? Okay, it's because the camera is just a small part of the larger process, and it has to fit the workflow on site and after. It's a major simplification, but largely true. In personal projects, it may be because how it fits in your hand, how buttons operate, how menus work, what options you need. For me, it is the idea. How much the camera is an obstacle for me to do what I want. When I take a photo, I don't want my camera to be a problem. I don't want it to interfere with my process. I want it to do its job the way I need it to. What I need, how I need it, is the answer to what camera I get. Knowing that no camera is perfect, all I have to do is to limit the amount of annoyances to the minimum. And what I need, what would be a perfect camera for me? A full frame or larger, adaptable lens mount, relatively small body, basic quick autofocus, monochrome viewfinder, screen option, reliable peaking, reliable exposure and underexposure warning, a good battery life, anamorphic de-squeeze options in camera. And what annoys me? Histogram for exposure. It's a 21st century. Why are we stuck with that obsolete tech? Why not use false color? Or better, stop based false color in photo mode, especially when we can already have it in movie mode. It can tell you which part of the image gets what exposure in real time without guessing. You are an informed citizen. Peaking is largely wrong. Could be better. Back in the day, Sony had this idea of focus mapping on screen, looking like a false color. What happened to it? Bloat in cameras is bad. Menu naming convention is different per brand, and the sheer amount of buttons pisses the hell out of me. And when you hold a camera and can't help but push some random button and see something different but can't really tell what. And the fact you have millions of buttons yet you lack the ability to change functionality of some of them. The camera is a tool. I understand when a tool determines the type of usage, because otherwise it's useless. Like a hammer. You smash with a hammer. But a camera is a bit more complex, and usually it is you who has to bend to its will. Which is strange. And that's the point. If I have to bend to the camera too much, I give up. Then I know this camera is not for me. When all I want is to take a picture the way I want, and I get kicked in the balls when I try, then nope. This is not why I do it. I do it to find peace and pleasure, to escape, to try to capture what I see, how I see it. And if the camera is an obstacle, then it has to go. And this is why the best camera is not the one you have with you. And this is why you have to, I have to, look for a perfect camera for me. Cameras are not made for you, because if they were, they would be like cars. Well, some cars, at least. You chose a base and spec the way you want it to be. Ari has some idea in this space, but the price? My God. But again, who am I to need one? Now, do what you like with it, and go with God and create what God would, to make your life better. Have fun, create, and share if you like.